So what we have is a country where a member of a family are living in different rooms, right, without a door. But Tinubu came and said, let those rooms have a door. Before you come into my room, you knock, I confirm who you are. Are you an Igbo person coming into a Yoruba man room? Are you a Fulani man coming into an Igbo man room? I will ask you, what are you coming to do? And then I'll agree, you agree, then I ask you to come in. Imagine a situation whereby I, as a Yoruba man, I am cooking my ewedu and amala. The aroma, because there's no door in all our rooms, the aroma, is being perceived by a Fulani man. When I leave for work, what do you think the Fulani man would do? Because he wants to have a taste. He will walk into my house, eat my amala. Equally, if an Igbo man cooks white soup, which I personally love so much, I will go into that room, have a taste, eat all the assorted meat. When he comes back, who ate my white soup? I'll tell you, I don't know. And then what do you think will happen? Chaos. Regionalism, protecting our regional interest, constitutionalizing it, institutionalizing it, is what Tinubu, I think, is doing. Look at what is going on in the Southern Kaduna issue. Against every thought of the Northerners. First and foremost, history has been restored back into the Nigerian system. History that Buhari said he will not bring back. Because history is always a subject that reminds us of our diversification, that makes us respect each other for who we are. And of course, it will tell and teach the upcoming generation that the only time Nigeria had its best development was when we were as a region. All right? That's one. Secondly, in Southern Kaduna today, officially, we now have a new university called the Southern Kaduna University of Science and Technology. Now, why do I say Tinubu, everything about him is leaning towards regionalism? Well, what you must understand is, in the last 60-something years, the Southern Kaduna people never had access to university. They were always at the mercy of the Northern Kaduna residents. What do I mean? When there is a quota to admit students, right, in the Kaduna, as it's where most of the university, over 40 universities, are concentrated in Northern Kaduna. So when they check, where are you from, the state of origin, when they look, what local government are you, when you have a Christian name and apparently you are from Southern Kaduna, you are always at the bottom of the barrel. So this marginalization is what the Southern Kaduna people have always suffered. And when Tinubu saw this, okay, he questioned that why a person like El-Rufai, who projects himself as an intellectual, a man of inequality, why didn't he ever approach Buhari for an establishment of a Kaduna State University? But that never happened. Okay, because of these agitations, there was so much insecurity in Southern Kaduna, and we all know how El-Rufai optimized. He actually used that to his own advantage. But again, as it stands in 2025, to be specific, 18th of September 2025, we have it that the Southern Kaduna has been inaugurated, and they are now admitting students, and that is a welcome idea. The other one that has to do with my conversation about regionalism is the issue of history, which I will talk about now. But before I go, let me go ahead with the issue of Southern Kaduna. Please, as a Nigerian, okay, who do you think the Southern Kaduna people would vote for come 2027? Just be sincere to yourself. Who do you think the Southern Kaduna people would vote for in 2027? Because for 50 good years, all right, the Northern oligarchs have always ensured that these people do not have access to good university. And yet, some people will say, yes, this agenda of Tinubu trying to dismantle the North is mischievous, is divisive, is insincere. And I dare say, indeed, that When we fail to take note or put into recognition our diversity, our differences of the people, then we are nothing but hypocrites. That there cannot be a nation where the people's sentiments are not catered for or are not significantly protected. When you see the Northerners trying to agitate, I mean, look at the tweet on my screen, trying to agitate, telling you that, oh, this man is divisive ways, is splitting the North, is trying to extract the Middle Belt sympathizers. Listen, every agitation deserves to be listened to. Yes. I made a content yesterday. I said that the Tinubu administration has shown to us that a peace deal will not only be extended to the Fulani bandits, that it will indeed be extended to the southern bandits. Whether you're a Yoruba bandit, whether you're an Igbo bandit, you also deserve to have, a peace deal negotiation. If you do not now settle for it, then whatever you get afterwards, you deserve it. Because we know that Buhari initiated what we call the peace deal for the Fulani terrorist headers, wherein billions has been allocated since the period that program started. Okay, under the then Chief of Army Staff, Burata. And then I have come out to protest that the government of Tinubu, it is either you cancel the peace deal for those northern bandits, or you make it what? You democratize it. You also say any southern bandits, whether you are a militant, whether you are a IPOB, whether you are a Yoruba bandit, when you are caught, they should not send you in for capital punishment. You should also get an offer of the peace deal, provided you are ready to what? Restitute. If you are not, then you can face the capital punishment. All right, that was that. Now, on the issue of the Southern Kaduna, please, do you think Tinubu, the way he's running this country, is not the right way to go? In terms of acknowledging our diversity, I'm not talking about the economics. Please. Why should we always pretend that we are one people? In this country, what we should live by, okay, guide ourselves by, standing on the principle of equity, which means what is good for the goose in the north should equally be good for the gander in the middle belt, in the southeast, in the southwest, in the south. Period. If you guys want university, let that university also extend to other regions. I have said everything about Tinubu is regionalizing, diversifying, pronouncing our differences, all of us accepting it and then acknowledging it. Then we will not say, yes, we will agree to live together. That is the only way. Because even the colonial masters, when they left a constitution behind. And that constitution was drafted with our ancestors, our forebears involved. In that Jefferson constitution that was written, I think in 1954 or 56 thereabout, or 47 if I'm not mistaken, I think in 1947, that constitution largely recognizes that Nigeria can only operate as a confederation wherein everybody will have their region governed by a premier that is being elected by the concentration of the people in that region. Okay, amongst the regions, then we will now have a less powerful president. Now that is the only formula that can work. And I think everything is heading to, yes, Tinubu might not do that, he might not complete it. Okay, he might not complete it because, yes, we know that the North will still do everything to, of course, cut it short. But this direction of speaking out that we must respect our diversity is the real the genuine way Nigerians must be built upon. Anything other than that is just hypocrisy that favors only one region and one region alone, which is the North. That is just the main truth. Because if that is not the case, when the Biafran war ended, there were some courses that were cancelled in the Southeast. The biochemicals, Department of Biochemicals, which has to do with how to work with chemicals in creating explosives, in creating acidic chemicals, which are good for just making machineries, war weapons, and all that. The Nigerian government banned it. Until this very day, that course is not yet taught in the Southeast. No Southeastern university teaches that course. Biochemical industry. I think chemical industrialization, if I'm not mistaken. Go and check. Google and fact check me. Because as at that time when the war was going on, there were so many students who were knowledgeable in chemical, industrialization. They knew how to mix these chemicals to make there's this formula, this very popular bomb. I can't remember, but it's like a ballistic missile, that they made, locally made in the Southeast, because from what they've learned. And when Gowon saw this, he banned it. And whenever any government comes on board trying to reinstate that course, you will see those that will rise up and say, no. Just the way you can see how they are rising against this issue of state police. Just the way you are seeing them rising against the issue of the university in Southern Kaduna. Are you not supposed to be happy that the Southern Kaduna people, over how many years later, are just getting their first university that will truly teach them art, science, and technology? Meanwhile, in the northern part of that Kaduna, they have nothing less than 20 to 30 universities. On my screen, you can see I'm showing you over there. It is only when we as a people tell ourselves that we must recognize who we are, then can we live peacefully. Anything outside of that is hypocrisy. We're shortchanging ourselves. We must say that a unity in our diversity is important. That's it. A unity in our diversity being acknowledged is way important. Because it is when we start teaching history, when our children begin to read about that the only time Nigeria was good was when we were being regionalized, when everybody could maintain what they had within their region. And how do we now go beyond that so that we can forge ahead as a diverse nation? Because whether you like it or not, Nigeria will continue to be diverse. No ethnic, tribe or whatever can suppress the other. The Fulanis cannot suppress the Yorubas. The Yorubas cannot suppress the Igbos. The Igbos cannot suppress the Ibibios. The Ibibios cannot oppress the TVs, and so on and so forth. Okay? Everybody must go to that round table and say, let us have our regions identified. And this is why you see I keep insisting that Tinubu will apply our sentiment to conquer us in 2027. Unfortunately, this is what he's doing. Because he knows that Nigerians are inherently, ethnic. Inherently. Because our forefathers, when they were asked in those years before the independence, should we nullify our ethnic, tension? Should we bar and nullify ethnic politics? They all said no. And that word has stuck to us. When you tell people you think you're gonna be a president, no matter how you try to talk about one Nigeria, you think a president can come and pass a bill that will say that all tribes in Nigeria is cancelled? That person, whoever that person is, will not leave the next 48 hours. I guarantee you. You cannot. Like a president wants to pass an executive bill, or he wants to pass a bill to the National Assembly. In fact, in that National Assembly, that is where they will cancel it. And you'll be amazed that it is the same Northerners who are shouting, one Nigeria, one Nigeria. Okay, that will be the first to say that no, you cannot say there's nothing like one, because they will tell you, if we push this bill now, they will say that we should cancel what? Quota system. If we push this bill now, they will say that we should cancel the Federal Character Commission system. But again, when you tell them, let us have a Nigeria that is split up in regions, they will tell you, oh, no, no. So you can see where they stand. They stand in that, just right in front of what we call progressive conversations. That is where they stand. That is why they will never be in support of Southern Kaduna to be, to be liberated, emancipated, to be what? Hand lifted. They don't want it. Because they know that when the Southern Kaduna people begin to have access to good education, okay, they will have to produce more educated children who in the near future will rise and dare to have their own states, which is, should be. Go and take a look at the map. Southern Kaduna alone is bigger than Ekiti. And I think Oshun, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Southern Kaduna alone is bigger than 3 states in the southeast. I'm telling you. And this Southern Kaduna and Cross River are almost the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. So you can see what we mean, that why they are intentional. Don't have access to education in Southern Kaduna. Tinubu, don't do this, don't do that. You are destabilizing, dismantling, demolishing our hegemony. Oh, you are divisive. It's a lie from the pit of hell. From the pit of hell called deception. Why would you not want people to discover who they truly are? Why are you trying to bury their history? Why are you trying to bury who they are? These are people who have said they want to be predominantly Christians and traditional, believers. However, because you just want to keep, Islamizing them, then you put them in a position of disadvantage. No access to good roads, no access to good security apparatus, no access to good schools. Come on, man. This is unfair. Totally unfair. Like I said, everything about Tinubu spells regionalism. Everything about Tinubu spells diversity. Keeps reminding us, listen, we are not people who speak the same language. So let us respect ourselves. This is why in his famous quote, he used to tell people that we are what? We are families, we are all members of the same family, but living in the same room. Which simply means before you come into my room, you have to do what? Ko. And then I'll say, I'll ask, who is there? You tell me, I am a Fulani man. Then I, as an Igbo man, what's a Fulani man looking for? A Fulani man is my brother. Oh yeah, before you come in, don't come with your cattle, don't come with your gun. Then I'll say, you agree? You say you agree, then I open the door. Period. Please, in that home, such a home, do you think there will be peace? Now, juxtapose it with a situation whereby you guys are family members living in the same house with different rooms, but those rooms have no door. Just imagine. That means if an Igbo man is cooking ofe aku or ofe sala, the smoke of that ofe sala, the aroma will enter my room. And because I, as a Yoruba man, I like ofe aku and ofe sala, I will carry my eba uninvited. I will just walk in there when the Igbo man has left out. I will take his pot, eat the soup, eat the meat.
When the federal government approved the establishment of the Federal University of Applied Sciences, Kachia, in February 2025, it was more than just a policy pronouncement. For thousands of young Nigerians, it represents a second chance at pursuing higher education and a future of possibilities. 7 months later, in September, the university has opened its doors to its pioneer students. Out of the 2,000 slots available for admission, 1,000 students have already registered to begin their academic journey. The National University Commission has also approved 18 academic programs for the institution, laying the foundation for robust teaching and learning.
We have, in the process of engineering our 30% curriculum as given to us by the National Universities Commission, introduce some key and foundation courses that every student of ours must take.
And I've just completed my academic registration, and to be able to work hard and to come out as one of the best students.
For many students, the moment is nothing short of a dream fulfilled. Ify, a young woman from Anambra State, could barely hide excitement. After several failed attempts to secure admission into other universities, she says the opening of the Kachia University has given her the opportunity she longed for.
Some universities will not want to accept someone from a different state or something, but I'm happy because this university gave us the opportunity to study here, to fulfill our dreams.
The enthusiasm is shared by parents who see the new institution as a chance for their children to break free from years of frustration with Nigeria's competitive admissions process.
I was over-delighted because for the past 2 years, she has been looking for admission despite her high scores in JAMB. But I thank God it has come to reality.
With the environment and things on the ground, I am okay here. Only pleading how my daughter will get, because she's on sick bed down because they have not released her admission list.
As lectures begin, the new university is not just admitting students, it is also admitting hope, ambition, and the promise of a better tomorrow for families across the country.